Hello everyone. In this short practice, we're going to use this chair as a prop to put our feet on, which helps us when we want to do some um, lunging positions and we don't have to be on our knees or we don't have to put so much pressure on our knees. So I'm going to start by standing in front of the chair. You can also use a stool or a table if it's sturdy. You want to make sure it's sturdy. And you also want to make sure at least two of the feet are on a mat because if they're on the floor like this, they'll slide around. So we come into our mountain pose. So we remember our mountain pose is our feet are in a sturdy spot. So there's no specific distance they have to be, but just where you feel the most secure and balanced. Try to focus on balancing your weight across your feet. You have your hands down by your sides, palms facing forward. If that feels weird or unnatural, you could also have them facing the sides of your body. We're standing tall, we're engaging our butt muscles, we're engaging our core, and we're breathing here. So it seems like we're standing here, but we're engaging all of our muscles while we stand here. There's a difference between this position and like this position. I feel a lot different in my body when I'm just sort of standing here versus when I'm in my mountain pose. So I'm going to do that facing the chair. Taking a couple breaths here. We have the option to raise our arms up towards the sky, maybe bringing them behind your head for a little bit of a back bend. Taking a breath, and then we can lower them down. We're going to raise up one foot onto the chair. So here we have one foot on the chair. Sometimes I like to take my belly, if it feels squished here, just pushing it into the center in between my leg. And from here, we can start a warrior flow. So in a lot of warrior poses, you're bent, leaning into that front leg. So when you're using a chair, you don't have to put that much pressure on your front leg. The pressure is going into the chair. So from here, we can raise our arms out at shoulder height. This front hand is the same hand as the leg that's in front. We're looking forward, breathing. Option to flip that front hand, lean a little bit into that front leg, raise it up, lower that back hand down towards the back of your body, and option to look up, breathing here. And then coming back for that warrior two, looking over those front fingertips. Then an option to place your forearm down on your thigh, raising the other arm up over top, an option to look at it. Taking a breath, and then coming back to that warrior two. Now we have the option to bring our hands down, turn our hips so we're facing forward, raising up our arms towards the sky, option for a back bend, and we're in a warrior one. Taking a breath, coming back to a neutral spine, taking your left hand, if this is your left leg, the same hand as leg is in front, lowering it down towards the chair, raising the other one up for an extended triangle pose. Taking a breath, and then coming back up for one more warrior two before lowering our hands down, lowering our leg, and shaking it out. We'll do the same thing again on the other side. So we start, I'm just going to turn the chair around. So my back is not facing you. We start in our mountain, super strong butt, super strong core. Taking a breath, raising up that leg, pushing the belly towards the center, coming in for that warrior two. Looking over those front fingertips, taking a breath. Option to flip that front palm, lean forward a little bit as you raise it up, bringing that other hand down. Option to look up, breathing here. Then lowering your hands down, back to that warrior two. Bring that forearm down to your leg, raising your hand up above, option to look up. Coming back to that warrior two, one more time, taking a breath. And we have that option of looking forward, bringing the arms down, raising them up for that warrior one. Breathing. And then an option here to bring that one hand down towards the inside of the leg, towards the seat of the chair, and raising that other arm up for a triangle pose. Breathing. Coming back up for that warrior two one more time. Lowering our hands, lowering our legs, and we can shake things out. Now, another thing I love to do with the chair is lizard pose. So lizard pose is often done from like a standing lunge or a low lunge, and it can put a lot of pressure on your knees. So instead, we can bring one foot up to the edge of the chair, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure it's on the very edge. So this is my right foot. It's on the right edge of the chair. I'm going to raise my hands up towards the sky. I'm going to hinge forward at the hip. So I'm hinging at my hips, bringing my hands down to the back of the chair. Now, if you don't have a chair, you're using like a table or a stool, don't worry. You can bring your hands down to the seat. It'll just be a little more intense. The other thing you could do is have your stool up against a wall and bring them to a wall. You can also take your belly, squish it in as you bring your hands down. This might be your lizard pose. Maybe it feels like a lot in the hip. It might. If so, stay here. If you want to explore more, you could bring your hands down to the seat of the chair or the stool. And then you also have the option to roll it onto the outside edge of your foot. So this is my right foot, so I'm rolling onto the right edge of my foot. And that opens up the hip a lot more. Taking a breath. You can stay here for as long as you like. And then coming back, standing up, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm bringing this around. You don't have to switch your chair every time. Outside edge, so left leg, left edge. So as long as it's the same, you're on the same side as the leg you're using. Option to push the belly in towards the center as you fold, hinging right at those hips. Bringing the hands to the back or to a wall or to the seat or the stool or the table or whatever you're using. Whew, I know that it might feel different on one side than the other. So this side feels a little more intense for me. And then option to go on the edge. So this is my left foot, so I'm going onto the left edge of my foot. Breathing here. And then coming back. And shaking things out. You can also do some low lunge half splits. So putting one foot up, leaning into it, and then alternating, putting the heel on, toes up towards the sky. So lean in, heel up. Doing a few of these, making sure you're breathing. And then we'll do them on the other side as well. Leaning in, and then toes up. So there's lots of different things you can do with chairs in yoga that don't include sitting on them. I mean, you can sit on them. I love chair yoga. But you should explore using a chair as a prop that doesn't include sitting on it. We'll shake it out. We'll do one last big final stretch. We'll do a variation of a down dog pose, which can feel really great in your upper back and your shoulders. So I'm going to stand about 2 or 3 feet away from my chair. I'm going to hinge at my hips. So coming forward on my hips, grabbing the sides of the chair. Now I have a big belly. It's getting caught on my legs. So I like to take steps back and look through my arms. If my belly's still getting caught, I can take my feet a little bit wider and then look down through your arms and breathe. Ooh, this feels like a great stretch for me in my back. Maybe it feels good for you too, or if it doesn't, try something else. You don't have to do everything that everyone's doing in a yoga class. And know that your yoga doesn't have to look like everyone's yoga. Our poses are going to look different. We all have different bodies. We all move in different ways. Our poses or our practices don't have to be in sync, and they don't have to look exactly the same. So know that whatever your practice looks like, it's perfect just for you.